Time to start doing math for RE or distance learning. We are going to start on page 248. It's right up there in the right hand corner of your screen, 248 in your math journal, if you would turn there. And we are going to start talking about percents and decimals and fractions today. So we're going to break this up into a couple different recordings just because those recordings, if they get too long, then YouTube does not like them. So here we go. Page 248, everybody. In this lesson, you will represent percents on a 10 by 10 square grid, and we know that that's our flat. Last season, Duncan made 62% of his basketball shots, which is pretty amazing. Your teacher, that'd be me, will tell you how to fill out the percent examples. We're going to fill in the 100% box for each example. We're going to show the percent by shading the 10 by 10 grid, which is right here. We are going to write another name for the percent next to the grid, which is right here. And we are also going to fill in what we are talking about, which this one is Duncan's shots. We're going to fill out how many out of 100, same thing for the fraction, and same thing for the decimal. We have talked many times over the last couple weeks about how easy it is if you have that denominator as 100. Basically, the top number, the numerator, is also going to be your percent, your decimal, and your fraction. So here we go. Last season, Duncan made 62% of his basketball shots. We have the 100% is all of Duncan's basketball shots. We have the grid to show that he made 62 out of 100. There's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2. 62 out of 100. Same thing for the fraction name, 62 out of 100 and 0.62 or 62 hundredths. We're going to skip that. So we're going to talk about a percent example. And because this doesn't have anything, we can make up our own. So I'm going to use Aaron made, you can put your name here if you want, made 91% of his basketball shots. Okay, being that we are working with 100, this is super easy. 91%, Aaron's b-ball shots. Go ahead and shade in 91 of them. Each of these is worth 10, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91. There's my ghostwriter right there. That means out of every 100, he made 91 of them. The fraction name is 91 out of 100, and the decimal is 0 and 91 hundredths. Again, you can fill in whatever you want right here. If it's your name or if it's your dog's name. Again, number 2. So think about something that you could do. Like I'm going to use a spelling test right now. We don't have spelling tests in 4th grade, but I'm going to use a spelling test. This time I'm going to say Evelyn got 59% on her spelling test. Again, you can change this. You can change this to whatever you want it to say. So this would be Evelyn's spelling test. I'm going to abbreviate. We're going to fill in 59, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way down to there. Okay, that means for out of every 100, she got 59 right. Fraction name is 59 out of 100. Decimal, 0 and 59 hundredths. Super simple if you have that denominator as 100. Number 3, fill in the 100% box for each example. Problem number 3 is done for you. Show the percent by shading the 10 by 10 grid, then write other names for the percent next to the grid. So the example is 12% of the students in Marshall School are left-handed. Here's what we're talking about. This is kind of like the unit box that we've talked about, labeling box. Out of all the students at Marshall School, out of 100, that means I'm going to fill in 12%, 10, 11, 12. That is 12 out of every 100. My fraction name is 12 out of every 100, and my decimal is 0 and 12 hundredths. Get that denominator to say 100, folks. Super easy. Number 4. Sarah spelled 80% of the words correctly on her last test. What are we talking about? We're talking about all the words on the test. Fill in 80% on the grid. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. That is 80 out of 100. Fraction name is 80 out of 100. And decimal is 0 and 80 hundredths. Number 5, cats sleep about 58% of the time. I don't have a cat, so I'm not sure if that's true. Might be. What are we talking about? We're talking about all the minutes in one day. We're going to fill in 58% of them. So 58, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way down so that I have 2 left over because we know that 8 plus 2 is 10. 58 out of 100. 58 out of 100, and 0 and 58 hundredths would be our decimal. Excellent job. Thanks for keeping up with me. All right, we are going to look at page 249 in just a second here. I'm going to pause the video and come back.